targeting your kids and targeting you. They spent it on American newsrooms, on influencers, and in academic institutions. So all those riots at Columbia University paid for courtesy of Qatar. Not just Soros, Qatar.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nissim Black, and you are listening to the Nissim Black Show. Listen, everybody knows that something weird is going on with this peace agreement. Not only with this peace agreement, if you just look at, the trip that Donald Trump made to the Middle East before he came to Israel, I'm talking about a few months back, where he goes and he visits all these Arab nations, and then we obviously have some pledge from Qatar that they're going to, put money towards a brand new plane. I mean, everything here has been completely weird, and the tonality, as we've discussed, of J.D. Vance and Trump towards Israel is very, very strange. Not to mention all the other grifters and other people like that who actually we could see that they have, some receipts telling us that, there is perhaps Tucker Carlson is connected to Arab money. I just want to put this out there because I think that the issue is that if we continue to not ask questions about these things, then we're doing ourselves a disservice, because it should be very clear to us that a place like Qatar, which is funding terrorism, that had every pull and every ability to move forward with the hostage negotiations a long time ago, that they all of a sudden are being praised as if they've done something great. They've been housing Hamas. They've been funding Hamas. And the same with these other countries, Saudi Arabia. And I think that there's something very, very fishy about this. Now, contrary to popular conspiracy, I happen to think that Jews are not running the world. And in fact, it's becoming more and more clear that Jews are not. I need you to see. Now, some of you guys have seen this video of Candace Owens when she was interviewing Harvey Weinstein. I'm going to show you that, but it's not the main video I want to show you, but I just want to show it to you just for the sake of context. Check it out.
But have you considered that it could be deeper, that there was somebody who wanted you put away, that there may have been someone who wanted your company? Because to me, there is just overwhelming evidence that you were set up here. It looks...
Now, this is called phishing, okay? This is phishing.
To me, like a modern day hit. I don't know who you upset. I don't know what they were after, but it just looks to me like a rigged system, and they took you out. To me, it looks like it was just a show trial, and the outcome was already determined before you even stepped into that courtroom. I do think that you stepped on somebody's toes.
That was because he did horrible things. The man did horrible things. It's not... And this is delusional, and this is how I could see that, and everybody could see she's shifting left, because unfortunately, I know this is not about her, but the whole thing here is just the shifting on the left is when you start defending criminals. It's like a known thing. They start defending criminals. It's ridiculous.
Like there's somebody's toes that you stepped on that you may not have been aware of when you were in Hollywood, because you had a lot of power. You had a lot of power.
I can't say who.
Why not? Why can't you say who? What do you have to lose?
Because I'm not sure that I'm right.
You say, I think. Maybe. I really want to push you on this point, Harvey, because I think it's very significant. I mean, you had the greatest movies that were in Hollywood. You had a lot of power. And I'm wondering if there was anybody in Hollywood that you may have been fighting with.
Anybody in Hollywood.
At that time. Just anything that could have been going on, because I think there's something bigger happening here.
There wasn't a fight per se, but the establishment, I would not say, was my friends.
The establishment. She's been after who is the establishment? You guys have to keep watching, and then we're going to get to our main clip. But if you haven't seen this, and if you have seen it, laugh again, please.
Right. And what is the establishment in Hollywood?
It's normally the big studios, but I can't say that they were part of this.
Right. No, I'm just wondering, like, who in the end, who owns all those movies now? Who owns your catalog? What happened to your company?
We sold the catalog to a company called Be-In, which is owned by the Qatari government, and we sold the other part of the library to a company called Spyglass and Lantern, which is owned by the Saudi Arabian government.
Very interesting. I'm asking these questions because my investigation into this isn't going to stop.
Shout out to Milk Bar. Shout out to Milk Bar. I mean, just listen. Anyway, so I just wanted to play that for context because Saudi Arabia, Qatar, remember those names. We're seeing it over and over again. You know, the Qatar money linked to the education system, to college professors. I mean, this is you know, this right now needs to be front and center. These are the things that we should be conspiracizing or whatever the case is about. Not, you know, did Erica Kirk betray her husband? God forbid to even have the words come out of my mouth. I feel disgusting. But these are the things that we need to. And regarding this, with Trump, JD, I'm talking everybody. Nobody's asking these questions. So I want to play former Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann. She has an amazing take. It's going to take a little bit, but listen to these truth bombs that she drops. This is probably about to change your life.
Together with Steve Witkoff, and he brought these two in to handle it. It perplexed me. We have a Secretary of State named Marco Rubio. Why wasn't he the one involved in these negotiations? Nonetheless, these two were involved in the negotiations. This is completely politically incorrect. I'm not speaking for Tony or FRC. I'm not speaking for Jack or for this wonderful church. But I was very concerned because of the historical nature of the relationships that both Mr. Witkoff and Jared Kushner had with Saudi Arabia and with Qatar.
Now, you could say on one level that maybe Trump was saying that since they already have that relationship, let's do it. But if you look at it from a different angle, the way that she's saying it, why not Marco Rubio, who have been completely neutral? In fact, he's a very strong advocate and supporter of Israel. Why not him?
Because Qatar is the number one funder of terrorism in the world. The number one nation state of terrorism in the world is Iran. So they're twin nations that are twin partners in terror. Iran is the chief sponsor of terrorism. Qatar is the chief funder. You need to know this about Qatar. Qatar is only 330,000 people. That's it. It's the size of Pittsburgh. That's Qatar. They have 2 million slaves that work for them. They take their passports away from them, but it's only 330,000 people. So why are they such smarty pants? Qatar. It's because they have money. They control 14% of the natural gas in the world, 330,000 people. These are the richest people in the world in Qatar, some of the richest. And so one thing that I do know, they believe very strongly in political Islam. And so they are all about advancing, conquering the world for Islam. They're very committed. So they put their money where their mouth is. They're the chief propagandists in the world. So then what happened in the last few months from America? President Trump's first foreign policy trip was to meet with Qatar, with Saudi Arabia. Of the 19 hijackers who took down the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and Flight 93, 17 of the 19 were Saudis. So we're trying to have a relationship with the Saudis and the Qataris and Syria. The self-appointed president of Syria was number 4 on the terror watch list. We were offering $10 million for the scalp of this guy who appointed himself the head of Syria. And when President Trump went over, this terrorist put on a suit, trimmed his beard, changed his clothes, and President Trump's in a photo shaking hands with this guy. And I just thought, this is a little shocking to me. You normally don't see something like this. But there's been a lot of private deals done, financial deals with people who are involved in foreign policy. This is
a big problem. I mean, I saw an article even in Israeli news of Steve Witkoff with other people who bought a significant amount of land very close to me. I think it was nearly $1 billion shekels that was spent. It was a real estate deal that took place, but it was Steve Witkoff, no doubt about it, with other religious people who bought this land. And I thought also this is a major conflict of interest. But I'm gonna let her keep talking.
It's very unusual. If you have Qatar's junior business partners conducting American foreign policy with them, especially regarding Israel, I've never seen anything like this before. So I'm standing back trying to watch what's going on. So then the plan comes out, and this made all the bells go off in my head, because contained with the plan is the understanding that Israel, that by the way, they were within 2 weeks of winning this war with Hamas.
Exactly. War was almost over. Pay attention to what she's about to say. The war was almost over. Hamas was nearly eradicated at this point. Listen to what she says. And before we sent back, more soldiers.
They controlled 80% of Gaza. They were just right there coming in for the victory. Go back to World War II. We soundly defeated Imperial Japan, soundly defeated Nazi Germany. So when that happened, they're clear winner, clear loser. That's what you need in the Middle East for the Arab mind.
That's
The
right.
Arab mind needs to know there's a clear winner, clear loser, and by the way, the loser loses land. That's how the Arab mind works. So just about as Israel is reaching the goalpost, in comes our envoys, Wickoff and Jared Kushner, and say, wait, stop it. You can't win. Sorry, we're not going to let you win. And so now we're going to have a ceasefire. And now we're going to negotiate. And in the negotiation, Israel, you're not getting control over the land. You're not getting it. And by the way, if the Arabs do everything right, there's a hint they might get their own state out of this deal. Judea, Samaria, and maybe Gaza for their own country. I mean, this is like shocking stuff. Absolute barbarians, murdering, raping barbarians. They're going to get rewarded. And Israel's going to get what? 20 emaciated people back. That's what they're getting out of the deal. 20 emaciated people and dead corpses. That's the deal they're getting after they've lost the lives of 2,500 people in 2 years in this nation, when we saw one miracle from the hand of God after another, week after week after week. You saw the miraculous hand of Almighty God win and defeat Hezbollah, defeat Iran, defeat in Yemen, defeat every enemy on 7 front wars. We watched the Bible play out for the last 2 years, and God was victorious over Israel's enemies.
I'm about to jump up. Everybody. If this woman ain't telling the truth, I don't know if anybody's told the truth. We watched this miracle after miracle. And this is why people, please keep faith. Keep faith. As much as I have loved and supported the Trump administration and all of that, God is what protects Israel. God is who keeps Israel. God is the one who's bringing and causing all of these miracles. He is allowing us to see the downfall of our enemies, which are really his enemies. And I couldn't have said it any better. I'm going to let her keep talking, but I just realize what she's saying and allow it to sink in. Allow it to sink in.
And just as we have the weakest of all enemies, Hamas, and Israel's about to go and defeat them, because again, Israel is handcuffed. We, the United States, we were the bad guys for the last 2 years. Under the Biden administration, America handcuffed Israel and told them, you're not allowed to win. You can't win. And we denied them ammunition. We denied them weapons. We made Israel's life miserable. That was under Joe Biden. Then when President Trump came in, it took a long time to ramp up to get them the weapons and the ammunition. But then weirdly, out of nowhere, Jared Kushner re-enters the scene. What had he been doing? He struck a $2.5 billion deal with the Saudis and the Qataris when President Trump left office the first time. Okay, that's his thing. That's what he's doing. But you're going to bring him back in to negotiate the deal? Somebody who has financial arrangements on the line and is a junior business partner of Saudi Arabia that's clearly been involved in terrorism against the United States, and Qatar, which is actively involved in terrorism. And you should know this, by the way. You wonder why American students, Christians, conservatives have turned against Israel? I'll tell you why. It's because for the last 2 years, it's documented, Qatar has spent over $200 billion in America targeting your kids. And
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Why this? This is what she's saying, but I'm saying it too.
Targeting you. They spent it on American newsrooms, on influencers, and in academic institutions. So all those riots at Columbia University paid for courtesy of Qatar. Not just Soros, Qatar. Okay, so why is American policy that we're going to allow that? Why is it that 2 weeks ago, President Trump announced an executive order that we, the United States, are going to give a NATO-type guarantee to Qatar? Anybody who attacks Qatar, America is going to defend Qatar. In what universe? Why? This just came out. Just this week it came out. I love Pete Hegseth. Went to church with him since he was in high school. Beautiful believer. But he had a meeting where he was with, I think, his counterpart from Qatar, saying that now we are going to host Qatari F-15s in Boise, Idaho, on an American airbase. So why are we rewarding the chief funder of terrorism, the nation that has housed and hosted Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood, a radical terrorist organization? Right. Why are we rewarding them when their goal is, and they've been propagandizing our students against Israel? Why are we doing this? So I'm asking these questions and thinking, I don't know, I'm looking at this 20-point plan, and they're talking about taking away Israel's land, which would violate Joel chapter 3, verses 1 through 3, and perhaps take away control, or at least at minimum allowing Israel the right to take to annex, which means to put their sovereignty over Judea, Samaria, which since 1967, Israel owned Gaza and they've owned Judea, Samaria. So under international law, this is their land. And now it looks like under the Trump plan, the plan is saying, yeah, Israel, you've owned it since 67, but Gaza, we're going to sever that off and we're
Listen, I mean, I couldn't say enough myself. These are truth bombs, and this is the truth, and this is for the community of believers. If you believe in the God of Israel, if you're Jewish, Lavdil, non-Jewish, whatever the case is, if you believe in the Bible, if you believe in God, I will tell you this: there is only one or two places, or one or two ways that this can happen, right? You can either be for Hashem, be for God, be for the land of Israel, be and be firm in that, and be unwavering in that, or you can go the other route. But I guarantee you, biblically speaking, and this is love. I'm from the United States. I was born there, everything, and I love America. However, the truth is that biblically speaking, from the prophets, there's one place for sure that we know has a future. There's one place for sure, and that is the land of Israel. Dividing it, giving up its land, or anything like that, just as she quoted Joel, I'm going to bring up Joel chapter 3:1 for you right now, because you guys are going to have to see this if you've never seen it before. Okay, so I'm going to read this for you, and you're probably going to see this a lot, and you probably have seen this a lot on my page already, but I'm going to read this to you. It says, "For behold, in those days, and at that time, when I will bring back the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will gather all the nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will contend with them there." What is contend? I will judge them there concerning my people and my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations, and they have divided up my land. If you support a two-state solution rather than a Jew state solution, you are absolutely a part of the problem, and you will find yourself making yourself an enemy with the God of Israel. Thank you so much for watching. Please, again, make sure you like, subscribe, notification bell, and if you can, make sure that you pick up some merch. Nissim Black .store. Make sure you get yourself a cup, t-shirt, something, help and support this channel. Also, you can sign up for Glory Nation, which is my online community where we go deep into prayer and how to protect ourselves from being idiots. See you guys in the next video.